The following episode of The Record Club has no sponsor, so we just ask that you subscribe to the HFN Network.
I'm a dirty South swamp guy. I'm a dirty South swamp guy. I'm a verb slurring word of mouth, nerdy style Don King. Dirty South swamp guy. I'm a dirty South swamp guy. Forget whatever you heard. I was saying who earns. I'm a client and the president who's serving more than 2 terms.
I had a friend post a Sarah Ha, and he's like this guy that's like, fight me, like I'll scrap with anybody, and he's like 19 or 20.
Don't catch these hands.
Yeah, he's like, oh well, I'm a what's it, crowd killing? That's the term. It's like a form of hardcore dancing, I guess. Like if it's still 2006,
Hyper moshing,
something. I don't know. It's not really me anymore, so I can't give you the new lingo. But it's just, some of these people on Sarah Ha are just out there, and I know a few of my other friends. I had another guy post one, and he was getting nothing but positivity, but then he was just remissed from cancer. So I guess people were just being nice to him, except for the friends that punch you on the arm, but they were like relatively light. Because who wants to use these websites to bully people? I'm not into that.
a lot of people want to use those to bully people.
No kidding, because it's anonymous, and you can say your shit and then turn around and run like the coward you are.
I mean, it's basically 4chan, but like you're inviting it.
4chan, but you're inviting your own self-abuse. It's self-abuse practically.
Well, we have bred a culture of that, I guess.
No kidding. God.
I mean, look at the wasn't there a subreddit where it was just like roast me?
Roast me's fine though. Roast me is clever, because that's where on Reddit it's a lot of clever people. If you're like just straight up mean, you get downvoted.
Oh, that doesn't happen on roasting threads on 4chan, dude. They go
no.
They like make stuff up just to throw in there.
They'll make stuff up and you'll believe it's true. That's how psychologically how psychologically adept they are compared to you in groups.
It's pretty impressive. It's like shocking and impressive. Like
no kidding. You're like, yeah, it's mean, but hey, they got me.
Well, you know what? I probably am. Okay, cool. Yeah.
You're right. I am a machine of sorts.
Oh my god. Well, welcome to the Record Club.
Good. Welcome to the Record Club. Go. Sorry. And also from last week's episode, I've noticed that if we talk over each other, it cuts us out. So I guess we got to do our best to not do that. So go ahead and introduce the show. Sorry, Dylan.
Damn, I was actually trying to catch you in something, but I was gonna wait for you to say like, "Are you there?" and then I was gonna like interrupt you. But anyway,
nope.
Sorry, yeah, yeah. So this is the Record Club. We meet once a week. Air quotes. I'm gonna edit out the air quotes, but yeah, we meet once a week and discuss records that we have each other listen to that we've never heard before, and the intent is to also get you, the esteemed listener, to follow along with us and listen to the albums, and hope that everybody kind of broadens their library.
Yes, indeed. If you enjoyed our last week's episode, we talked about the Cat Empire's self-titled record up against Morning Parade, not to be confused with Mayday Parade. Their debut album as well. And this is going to be our second episode. So you don't have to watch these, you don't have to listen to these in order. But hey, if you want to find out about some more records and kind of get in with our dopey inside jokes, you might want to go in order. I recommend it. But if you stumbled upon this video today, I'm not going to tell you to click off.
I'm going to tell you to click off.
God, why you gotta be so rude? God. Idiot.
Oh, God, I hate that movie so much.
It's not my favorite either. It's just so easy to reference.
Yeah, the only part of that movie that I like is the dance scene, and I don't even like the dance scene. I like the fact that they use Jamiroquai. Yeah.
Jamiroquai 100% of the time, all the time. Coming next week. Just kidding.
I mean, the fact that you know Jamiroquai means I probably shouldn't suggest Jamiroquai.
I mean, I only know like 2 songs, so you can suggest Jamiroquai if it's one of your favorites.
You know what? I will probably do that in the coming weeks because I already have something in mind.
Woo! Excited.
But just kind of letting you know. I mean, there are a couple just absolutely incredible Jamiroquai albums. Anyway, yeah, this week we're doing the Fray's self-titled album and Born to Die by Lana Del Rey.
Yes, a couple of fantastic records. I was picked to listen to Lana Del Rey's Born to Die, which I really enjoyed. I didn't really like it on the first listen, to be honest with you. I thought it was a little bit different for me, off-putting, just slow vibes. But then I kind of really got to appreciate her and the fact that she has multiple voices. Fantastic work she did on that record.
Dude, that's one of the best things about her is that, like, going into a song by hers that you haven't heard for the first time, which there's like 100 unreleased songs that she has just from like cut material. But yeah, just going into a different song, like you don't know what voice she's going to use because sometimes you're just not in the mood to hear like the weird dark downer voice where she's singing all low. And you just want something a little bit more energetic, and that's where like the high pitched voice comes in, and it's just like, okay, well, you know, let's do this.
Yeah,
and
like yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, you're good, man.
Yeah, like her lower voice kind of reminds me a lot of Stevie Nicks for some reason. Like I just picture her covering Landslide at some point. Maybe she's already done that. I don't know. I don't know much about her.
I actually, you know, I'd prefer to hear her cover Rhiannon, but
fair enough.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm a plastic anyway.
I don't really want anybody else to cover Landslide after Billy Corgan. So
it's gonna happen.
Actually,
Landslide is easy to cover. Like I cover that whenever I do acoustic sets.
Well, like I don't. Well, because the thing is that I don't actually like the song. I just like hearing Billy just kind of like struggle his way through it.
Yeah, it's really respectable. You gotta love that Billy Corgan.
Like he has an ulcer.
It's a good ulcer though. I love his ulceric voice. That's not a word. I'm not going to say that. Ulcerifically awesome voice. Ulcerific. Oh my gosh, that's a thing now.
That's going to be the title of the episode. The episode's already been titled, but that's going to be the title of the episode.
Ulcerific, but well, I mean, I guess somebody can say that Isaac Slade sings like that. I don't know.
I mean, your words.
The phrase. That's the Fray's lead singer's name, by the way. I'm a fanboy.
Hey, dude, it's a good band to be a fan of.
Yeah, man, I know.
So, yeah, you want to start with the Fray?
Let's go that route. I'm going to jump into the Fray. The information on this record it came out on February 3rd, 2009. It is released on Epic Records, or they just call themselves Epic. It's produced by Aaron Johnson and Mike Flynn. And the singles, Aaron Johnson, Secondhand Serenade, Katie Herzig, Eve 6.
Oh, Eve 6. Okay.
Does a lot of work with the Fray, though. That's what he's best known for. And this
dude, he's the brother of Ryan Johnson.
Really?
Yeah, who directed the Brothers Bloom, Looper, and Star Wars Episode 8.
Oh, actually, is he really? Are you being serious right now?
I'm being very serious. It's on Wikipedia.
You're right. That is that Ryan Johnson. That's cool. Learn something new every day. So the singles on this record are "You Found Me," which is their most known, "Never Say Never," my personal favorite, and "Syndicate." Through the thick of this album cycle, they released a cover for Kanye West's "Heartless," but that's on the Greatest Hits record. It's listed as a single for this record, but I think it was only on the deluxe edition.
as opposed to on their debut album where they covered Straight Outta Compton.
I see what you tried to do there.
Yeah, I tried.
I giggled a little bit. It was a little forced, but I can see the comedic value to that statement.
Fair enough. Also, I just saw a picture of Isaac Slade, and I'm surprised that he does not have a faux hawk.
I think he did in their first album cycle for a little bit.
Because no offense, but like he sounds like he has a faux hawk.
What?
Yeah, like you know how some singers that have faux hawks just like have that voice. Like he sounds like he's got a faux hawk, and that's not an insult. That's like that's just
I get it. I get it. You're not. It's not an insult. That's just strange. I've never really thought of it like that. I mean, I can tell if somebody should be a soulful, large opera singer and they look like that and sound like that, but no, I can't hear hair.
Yeah, he to me he just sounds like he's got a faux hawk.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so let's dive right in. This is the album that I had asked you to listen to.
Right.
So the first track off this record is Syndicate, which yeah, go ahead.
Well, I actually before we started recording, I got done listening to this, just kind of like giving myself a refresher on all of the tracks. I didn't like listen to the full thing again. I just kind of like
scrolled through.
tried, and you know, this is a really good song, Syndicate. It's got a really good intro, and it's a really good intro track for the album overall, and it's really catchy. But the thing is that, and there's a couple of there are a couple songs on this album that keep giving me this feeling where this would be like a really, and again, I don't mean this to be insulting. This sounds like it would be a great country album, but it's not. So it's like, it's way better than that.
You know what? Me and my younger brother, we jokingly sing Fray songs with country accents, and they think, what if they were a country band? You know, because I can kind of hear it in a couple of songs.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the thing. Like with this song in particular, and then You Found Me. Like I feel like those sounded like country ballads to me, but they're way more tolerable because I don't like country.
Yeah, all you have to do is tell me it's not country. Tell me it's not country, and it's not country, and I'll be like, oh, this is great. Or if somebody tried to convince me that Luke Bryan wasn't country, I'd be like, well, it sounds a little country. I don't like it.
I mean, that's kind of how it is, and also nobody in country music would be caught with a faux hawk. So,
you and this faux hawk,
dude. I mean, again, there's nothing negative about it. I just like his voice is just like, oh yeah, this guy's sitting at a piano with a faux hawk.
And nobody's saying that what you're saying is trying to be negative. I'm just hearing it. I'm like, why? Like, I didn't expect to hear the word faux hawk today.
Well, I mean, it's just like you listen to Mark Hoppus and you go, oh yeah, Mark Hoppus has a faux hawk.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fair enough. Syndicate it's a song that I find to be very uplifting. I hear the smooth piano intro, and then one of the reasons why I fell in love with this band in the first place is hearing Syndicate, because followed by that Syndicate piano intro is the guitar part that I find it kind of separates the Fray from being this pop contemporary band into a little bit more of a rock band as well. You know, a lot of people don't seem to respect them as a rock band, but I think that they are.
I mean, I guess I could see that. I mean, I don't know why I said I guess. I can see that, but
I guess. I guess. No.
I mean, you know, you don't really associate faux hawks with rock bands, but whatever, man. Whatever floats your boat. Dude, it's a good solid song and a great start to the album. So it definitely brings you in.
All right, here's a random poll for everyone. Does Dylan sound like he has a faux hawk?
It's funny because there's actually a video of me talking on the YouTube channel where I clearly do not have a faux hawk.
No. Just ignore what he just said and answer the question in the comments below. If there are comment sections below, who knows?
And if you want to be contrarian, I'll actually consider. I'm not going to get one, but I'll consider getting a faux hawk if you subscribe.
Yes, if you subscribe, share all that stuff, and in 7 months donate to our Patreon, maybe you'll get
I love how it keeps getting further away.
getting a faux hawk. And in 2 years, you can donate to our Patreon.
And you might get a shirt. Okay, so Absolute.
Absolute, also really good.
This is not my favorite song on the album, but this is by far my favorite chorus on the album. I love the chorus to Absolute. It's great.
Absolute has some of the most energy on this record, in my opinion. You hear it, and then it has that really hard-binding rock bridge, man. That's why it can't be denied. This is a rock, man.
This probably is my favorite song on the album.
What are you doing with your life, man, with these flip-flops? I'm just kidding.
I mean, how did you know I was wearing flip-flops?
Just don't look in the corner next to your alarm clock.
Wait, I don't have an alarm clock.
At least you don't think you do.
This is
Absolute.
This is where Feature Dylan edits in a dun dun dun.
Oh, does he?
It's gonna be literally that sound you just made.
You're just gonna keep sampling it. Absolute to me has the intro that grabs me immediately. The way that the riff is like a third to fifth harmony. It's a lot for me to enjoy as the person who loves a good rock composition. It's and then Isaac Slade's voice, being the beautiful amounts of crude that it is, kind of just grabs you. And
now, what do you mean by crude?
He's got like that kind of that raspiness to his voice. It's a little crude. It's like a good crude.
I mean, I didn't see that, but maybe that was probably because I was too focused on the whole like faux hawk thing. But I didn't notice the crudeness. But you know what? I'm going to give it another listen and see if I can determine that.
I think it's like a good crude. I think like you hear somebody who when they struggle, it sounds good. That's Isaac Slade.
Fair enough. The next song is "You Found Me."
Also, for those at home that are currently enjoying a beer while listening to this, drink every time Dylan says faux hawk.
Faux hawk. Faux hawk. Anyway, I'm just going to get everybody nice and plastered right now. Next song is "You Found Me." And I mean, I kind of touched on this during Syndicate. Kind of sounds a little bit like a country ballad, but it's not bad. It's definitely not my favorite, but
I like this one as well. It's their single. Kind of funny enough, this is one of the more depressing songs. Of course, if you know "You Found Me" or know the band, you know that this song is about. So I didn't mean to laugh. Wow, I'm such a terrible person. This song is about somebody who couldn't have anybody when they needed somebody, and it was just too late. And it's kind of coming from that person's point of view to somebody, I think, who, from what it sounds like somebody ended their life. And it's very, very sad, but a very, it's hard to say uplifting, but I guess it's just a message they want to put out there.
Well, I mean, you know, it's definitely the saddest song that we're going to cover today. Definitely no sad songs on the one that I suggested.
Oh, no. Lana Del Rey, she's all sunshine, rainbows, and I'm going to say storm clouds because, yeah, she's all storm clouds.
Sunshine, rainbows, and storm clouds. That's a great way to describe her.
Just think about the sunshine and the rainbows, and then all of a sudden, storm cloud rolls the fuck in and ruins your day. Just kidding.
Hey, that's actually a good way to describe that.
Like you hear it. You hear the music. It's just like all these, like the first track on that record is a string quartet, then bam, storm cloud. Anyway, I'll get to that in a little while. Let's go with "Say When."
Now.
"Say When" is
now.
Faux hawk.
You know, I mean,
happening?
unfortunately, they don't drink when you say faux hawk. They drink when I say faux hawk, and now I'm saying faux hawk. That's 3.
3 what?
3 drinks because I said faux hawk.
You're supposed to say faux hawks.
Oh,
I get it now.
man.
Now that's like 6 drinks. So enjoy it, everybody.
Yeah.
Next song is Say When. And
Now.
Say When.
So yeah, Say When is considerably darker and harder than the last few tracks, and I like it. That was the entirety of my notes on that song.
The chorus, to me, I think is the best part of it because it moves through this melodrama that I really enjoy about this band's vibe.
I could see that. By the way, this is just a side note. I used to have a friend that would say melodrama as melodrama.
Nope, not dealing with that.
Melodrama.
Melodrama. I can't unhear that.
No, melodrama.
Melodrama.
He would say the entire word wrong, the whole thing. Melodrama.
And does he say mellow and drama correctly by themselves?
Yes.
What the hell, man? That's the kind of guy that you say good morning to everybody that you know except that guy. That's how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Hooked on Phonics.
That's the name of the next song. And
is it?
No. The next song after Say When is Never Say Never, not Hooked on Phonics.
Oh, I love Never Say Never, even though every time I refer to the song, people are like, what? Bieber? Justin Bieber? Are you talking about Justin Bieber right now? No, Never Say Never.
Interesting fact. Theirs is a cover of Never Say Never by Justin Bieber.
No, it's not. Shut up. So, Never Say Never. It's a very ballady song. This is probably the most contemporary song on this record.
Yeah, I actually have in my notes, my entirety of the notes was this a single? It sounds really familiar.
It was definitely a single. Okay, so a few notes on Never Say Never. The bridge, the chorus is really repetitive. It's just, don't let me go, don't let me go, don't let me go, don't let me go. And it goes back to my argument last week where it's just so simple that to me it's good. And you kind of hear a lot of Isaac showcasing his vocal talents throughout this song, and a lot of it grabs you.
According to Wikipedia, this song has 3 different versions: the full album version and 2 radio edits, a half guitar solo edit and a radio edit. Also, the song was on the soundtrack for Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen and promos for Inuyasha: The Final Act. And according to Wikipedia, it is a cover of Justin Bieber's Never Say Never.
That last part was not true.
No, this was recorded way before Bieber's Never Say Never.
Yeah, like Bieber's Never Say Never was like 2000.
A cover of this.
You can never say never. Was it used on Inuyasha: The Final Act though? That's cool.
Yeah, it was. No, it was on the last episode on Animax Asia.
I had no idea. I feel like what is that only on the English dubbed version? Does it say?
It says the last episode on Animax Asia, which is an English language feed in Southeast Asia and South Asia, as well as mainland Asia, including Hong Kong and Taiwan.
That shit's got to be on. Oh, I see what you're saying now. This is also back when MySpace was on its way out.
Oh yeah, for the most part.
2009, yeah.
Also, apparently, the song was certified platinum by the RIAA in August of 2010 and was ranked number 100 on Billboard's Hot 100 Songs of 2009 list. And it was nominated for a Grammy.
My boys from the Fray.
So that alone should let you know just how much of a pedigree these guys kind of have. They got their dues.
Yeah, absolutely. They did a lot of their peaking over in, like they kept their momentum going from 06 to 09 on their or from their debut to their second. The next record did pretty well, but now it's just kind of like their following that loves them, and every now and then you'll hear a new something for them, for the new fan, for the old fans, you know. Can do
Like
something
Say
new.
Anything.
Yeah, where it's gonna be the same people that still love you. There's new fans might get it, but it's
Well, dude, it was
mostly
weird
just
going to the last show that we went to because like most of the people there weren't there for Say Anything.
yeah. They were there for
That band that played like right before what was the band that played right before them with the dude that was on one of the songs from Hebrews?
Me Without You.
Yeah, it was the band right before that. I overheard a lot of people saying that they were there for them and like nobody else.
Okay, yeah, I remember Me Without You. I don't remember who opened, and I saw Me Without You like with Circus Survive earlier this year too. Not a huge fan of them.
I think they're good live, but I don't like their album work.
Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan of like the constant spoken word, but I do enjoy like I don't know, Max Bemis' spoken word's fun just because it's very like
It's angry.
He'll sing a lot too, though. I don't want to hear a whole song with it spoken word.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The next song on the album, by the way, is oh yeah, you never finished your thoughts on Never Say Never. List facts.
The last thing I wanted to bring up is Never Say Never's bridge has you guessed it, the wall of sound.
Wait, whoa, does it?
Yes, it absolutely does.
Do it got the booty though? Which we're gonna refer to the wall of sound as the booty, but
are we?
I mean,
it does.
I'm gonna try and make that a thing.
You can try. You can try. Maybe it'll stick. The wall of sound is very much in the bridge. It's got this piano, the rhythm guitar, and it has a huge tremolo pick delay guitar with the strings with it.
How far into it would you say that is?
Good question.
Because I'm listening to the song right now.
Listen to the part where he hits his falsetto, and it's right after that.
Okay, I can definitely, I can see them. Yeah. I guess I'll give it that. It doesn't sound quite as full as most people try and do it, but like in their own way, yeah, they've achieved the wall of sound.
If you ever see that part live, it is a genuine wall of sound. For sure. Like I've seen them live at least 3 times now.
That means you've seen Say Anything live more than them, right?
Have I seen? No, I've seen them I've seen the Fray 4 times. I count the time I saw them in Fort Collins, Colorado too.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a treat.
Fair enough.
I got their set list on my wall right here. I can point.
Man, I tried to get the set list from the last Say Anything show, and one of their roadies or whatever was like a real asshole about it.
Oh well. They probably miss their families. Anyway, before we go on,
first show of the tour.
He's homesick. He just left Tyler like yesterday. Come on, man. Tyler is also an hour from Dallas.
Yeah, I know.
A little more, an hour and a half. Like, I get it.
I think it's like 50 minutes. I don't even think it's even an hour.
I'm pretty sure it's an hour and a half because it takes you an hour to get like to 40 sometimes.
If you're not driving 90, sure. Like I've never driven 90. I'm not a speed freak at all.
I do that a lot. Sometimes when I'm on the toll road, I'll just feel the thrills. Anyway, next song is Where the Story Ends.
This is my least favorite song on the album.
Really? I love this song.
Let me put it this way. Enough for Now, the next song, does what this song, to me, it does what the song's trying to do, but better. And it's a little bit more solid of a ballad feel.
I like the way Where the Story Ends carries itself, and the chorus melody is really good. I knew this song or this record wasn't gonna be a heavy hitter for you, but
I liked it more than the Mayday Parade.
Yeah, I get that. Where the Story Ends is, to me, that little bit of it's a quicker ballad, and the chorus is awesome. It's got that heartfelt melody to it, picks up a little bit for that part, but it's mostly constant, mostly that constant medium rhythm, and then the bridge is just, it has like a solo, and then he sings a little bit louder out of his range during that part, and I enjoy it. It's like one of those like things you're not gonna like. For me, even me listening to the Fray self-titled record the first time, I skipped through it to get to the songs that I liked, and then on drives you just kind of let it play, and then at times you just start to understand the other songs and to really get to love them. So it's definitely like I said in last episode, we're doing all these on 1 or 2 listens, unless Dylan and I don't happen to meet the following week, and we kind of have to scramble to get our schedules back up to date with this podcast. Maybe we'll have a couple of more additional listens to this song or to these records.
Like I have really more like 2.5 listens to this album.
I've listened to the Lana Del Rey album a handful of times now, so I have a lot more of that, more than first. Like if I was going off that record on my first listen, I would have been brutal with it. Like I'd have been like, I was bored and I just wanted to sleep through this one. Oh man, that one was bad. It's like the esteemed listener probably won't hear about this too much, but we actually tried to do the Record Club podcast last summer, and we ended up scrapping most of it because of my equipment malfunctions, and we had one whole Pokemon Go. I got 2 phones, one for the hose and Pokemon Go. Let's
enough for now.
Yeah, enough for now. Enough of that for now.
I've gotten everything I have to say on enough for now out of the way with it does where the story ends does, but like way better. And it's a more solid ballad, and I enjoyed it every time I listened to the album more.
Enough for and if you actually did try to listen to this album more often after tonight, you'll probably have a different perception of the rest of the songs. Enough for Now for me is one of those songs that I used to skip, and then eventually it just got to me because you kind of hear the lyrics more. You don't really listen and hone in on the lyrics immediately. You just on your first couple of listens, it just becomes a more when you get more interactive with the record, with hearing it, that's when the lyrics become more a part of you and a part of what you hear. And that's what drew me in about this song. But I do think the story ends and this song are 2 different vibes, 2 different tempos. So they the story ends is a different type of ballad. It's like the phrase essential power ballad, so to speak. And this is legitimately just one of their slow movers, but with the lyrical content that they like to do. So moving on to the next track, that's going to be The Ungodly Hour, which I can go ahead and say that this song is all right. This song is actually sang by their other singer, Joe King. He's he's good. This song I don't really listen to very often. It's very, very slow, and not, just because it's a slow song doesn't make it a bad one, as I said last episode. But I will say that this one doesn't really find many ways to grab my attention at all. So I would probably rate this one the weakest song on the record.
You know what? I thoroughly like this song. I didn't the first time. I got like really bored halfway through the song the first time, but on the second listen, it's a very necessary song for the feel of the album, for the overall album flow.
Yeah.
And I really do enjoy, you said it was Joe King.
Yeah, Joe King is the singer on this song, and he'll sing on average on. Yeah, very enjoyable, and he sings on average on 1 song per album. Kind of like
what Panic at the Disco was trying to do.
Yeah, like that alternate guy that just takes lead for that 1 song per record.
Fair enough. I liked it. I mean, it's as far as like the slower songs on the album go, I prefer this one out of the last 3 tracks.
Wait, you said that Ungodly Hour is your favorite out of the last 3?
Yeah, out of Where the Story Ends, Enough for Now, and Ungodly Hour is my favorite.
Ah, okay. Dang, that's crazy. All right. Hey, yeah,
This song reminds me of something Chris Martin would do. So I'm just like, oh, okay, this is enjoyable if I put it through that spectrum.
Yeah, you respect the hell out of it because it kind of reminds you of one of your favorites. So I hear that, and I respect that opinion a lot. Definitely.
This guy doesn't sound like he's got a faux hawk.
He's got that
Faux hawk.
He's got that Adam Levine look.
Well, Adam Levine has a faux hawk.
Yeah. Does he?
Yeah, a little bit. Like it's a small one, but it's still a faux hawk. Hold on.
I meant more that standard preppy, like short hair Hollister model look.
Oh, like a crew cut?
Is that what it is?
Something like that. Hold on. Yeah, he doesn't have a faux hawk right now, but
he did before on the
first album.
Songs About Jane kind of era,
which is a decent album. That is also not a crew cut. I don't know what I'm thinking of.
I was about to say, making up words again. All right,
Pompadour.
The next Pompadour. Okay, Space Dandy.
Next song is We Build Then We Break, and oh man, this is a refreshing song.
Yes, I was, when you hear the pacing of this album, you don't expect something like this coming. This one has kind of like that modern day Muse kind of a feel to it a little bit. Distorted bass. And then, yeah, absolutely. He goes off on that falsetto for the choruses.
I like that. I like that a lot.
He just kind of yells too. And that's why Isaac Slade's voice, I like it so much. I don't rate this one as high as you do, though.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Like with this one, I put stands out from the entire rest of the album, but in a good way. It's super refreshing. It's something that you don't expect out of the Fray, and it fits in, especially considering that the last 3 songs were, kind of slow.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty highly rated. I'm still gonna say Absolute's my favorite, but
cool.
I'm probably gonna say that this one's probably the best.
I dig it. All right, so the last song on this record is Happiness, which is
fantastically solid closing track.
Yes.
And
it's also it's a fan favorite that they don't play very often. This was one of the songs that I didn't listen to very often until later. I really got to really enjoy it though. It's an acoustic song, just for the esteemed listener, so I can describe it. It's an acoustic song.
They're supposed to listen.
They are supposed to listen, but I'm going to go ahead and describe it anyway. It's an acoustic song, and you kind of hear Isaac sing at his standard mid-range that he goes with, and he just kind of describes what happiness is to him. And in ways that can probably be seen as kind of like ominous in a way. Like it's something about the mood set just sounds ominous. Usually means that you feel like something bad's going to happen. So I don't know. It's like there's some type of, you don't want to read into something that isn't there, but there's some type of darkness to this song in a way. And that's how I've always kind of heard it. People probably won't agree with me, but strangely enough,
the song title in and of itself matches what you were just saying. Like, why would they name a song of happiness and then make it about happiness?
Yeah, you're right. It could be like the lack thereof, but usually he's describing what happiness is to him, and then at the end it becomes this large jam session where you hear like gospel singers come in too. It's really cool.
It's got a really good way of like building.
Absolutely. Has that main melody, the hey, it's really cool. I like that a lot.
And the best part about it is that it does an excellent job of fading out, which is like so satisfying on a final track on an album.
No kidding, man. All right, so the Fray's self-titled record. Give me your favorite song.
My favorite song is Absolute.
Absolute.
The best song was "We Build Then We Break," and the worst song, probably, originally I was gonna say like "You Found Me," but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say "Where the Story Ends."
Ooh, that hurts. I'm just kidding.
Actually, you know what? I am gonna go. This has nothing to do with the joke there, but I am actually gonna go back and say it's "You Found Me." It kind of skirts the line between country that it's obviously not country, but man, it's a little bit uncomfortable there.
I hear that. So for me, the best song on this record is, I look at this track list and it's hard to pick best. I'm gonna have to go with Syndicate. Syndicate is the best song on this record. My favorite is Never Say Never, just because I love the way that song carries itself. But I can arguably say that my favorite could be Syndicate or Absolute. Man, it's really tough to display that because all three of these songs carry so much weight to me. My least favorite song on this record is Ungodly Hour, 100%. My least favorite and worst. But I guess a statement like that is somewhat unfair because
dude,
it's a pretty well written song, but you got to choose one. That's how this works.
Choose one.
So then if I had to choose that one favorite, then I guess I'll just have to say Never, just at the benefit of the fact that I did say Syndicate is the best, which does hold some weight when it comes to picking a favorite.
You can make favorite and best the same thing. I'm just saying, like,
I am, but I really love Never Say Never. I wouldn't mind matching the two, but Never Say Never is my favorite song to sing at karaoke.
Fair enough.
A lot of people, like at karaoke nights, they'll be like singing like I like big butts and I cannot lie, and then they're all getting crunk, and I'm like, here, I'm going to slow it down a little bit, and I'm going to sing this contemporary ass song with like such emotion. And they're like,
well, like at Caves, every single karaoke night, somebody does "This Is How We Do It" by Montel Jordan, and yeah, you went in there and started singing the Fray.
That's right. I took the vibe down and I did it to spite everybody. No, I did it because I wanted to sing.
Oh, there you go, man.
Absolutely.
If you're gonna give this album a score out of 10, what would it be?
That's up to you first, buddy. You're the one who was assigned this one.
I'm gonna give it a 7.
Fair enough.
It's an enjoyable listen. There's nothing wrong about it. It's just not my favorite.
I'm gonna go 8 because I enjoy the hell out of it. But if I have to give it the super critical first listen score, I would probably go 7.2 as well, just like somewhere in that low 7 range. But
fair enough.
Due to my bias of the Fray being like everything to me lately.
That's me with Coldplay, dude. You're gonna find that out.
You'd be like, oh, this is a 10. This is a 10. This is a 10.
Actually, when I do get around to suggesting a Coldplay album to you, I'm not gonna suggest my favorite.
Okay, fair enough. You don't want to get to what's the term you used earlier? Conflict of interest.
Yeah, I don't. It's not necessarily that it's a conflict of interest. It's that there's a difference between just like we were saying before. There's a difference between best and favorite.
Right. 100%.
I'll suggest what's arguably their best, but I'm not going to suggest my favorite.
Okay. All right. Let's jump into our next record. This is "Born to Die" by Lana Del Rey.
Yes, and it was released January 27th, 2012, and I heard it for the first time like end of February 2012, not like this year or anything. It was released on Stranger, Interscope, and Polydor.
God, 3 labels. Some of those must have been international.
Yeah, I think over here it was probably Interscope. It was produced by a handful of people. Okay, let's get through this. Patrick Berger, Jeff Basker, Chris Braid, Emily Hain, is that Haney or Hania, something like that? Justin Parker, Rick Knowles, Robopop, and Al Shucks. Basically, this Interscope put a lot of money behind this one, and so she got to work with a wide variety of people.
Man, I want that record deal.
Right?
Let me have that record deal. People that are just wanting to shovel the cash at you. Jesus.
Yeah, and so the singles were Video Games, Born to Die, Blue Jeans, Summertime Sadness, National Anthem, Dark Paradise, and there was an extended version of the album called the Paradise Edition. It is still technically the same album. It's just included with it is all of the bonus tracks and the EP Paradise, in which the additional singles were Ride, American, Cola, Blue Velvet, Gods and Monsters, Yayo, and Bel Air. So they promoted the shit out of this album.
Yeah, and apparently, Cola was a fan favorite after that, and we know the tagline from that song.
Dude, Cola's such a good song. It's like Cola and Body Electric, which Body Electric was the first song released off of...
you might want to start that statement over.
Cola and Body Electric, with Body Electric being the first song off of Paradise that we heard. She was playing it live for like 6 months before we even knew that there was an EP. That, like, just those songs are just superb, man. They're so good.
For sure, man. I don't really know a whole lot of the Paradise Edition, so I decided to do the standard just to kind of keep our just to keep this podcast like consistent.
I know you did hear Lolita off of the deluxe edition, though, and Lolita's an excellent song.
I don't remember what it sounds like, so another time.
It's one of those high-voiced ones.
Yes, indeed. So the first track off this record is Born to Die, which is the title track.
Yes.
This one, at first listen, like, kind of made me think, what did I get myself into? You know, I'm not sure if I'll be able to get through this record. And, you know, I think maybe I'm not the only one who feels like that when they first hear Lana Del Rey.
Yeah, maybe so. Like, the very first time I heard her, it was with Born to Die. Like, I was a big fan of the iHeartRadio app, and and her song came on like somebody's radio. It was like, I can't remember. But,
No Doubt Radio. No Doubt Radio.
Dude, it might have been. Like, I'm a big No Doubt fan, but you know, the thing is that, like, I heard Born to Die as the first song, and I was like, okay, I got to hear more of this. This is something new. This is like some kind of pop I've never heard of. This is...
No kidding.
Yeah, this is something special. Like, I haven't heard anything this interesting from pop since, like, Amy Winehouse.
Yeah, and I thought everything was so dramatic, just beginning with that... the song starts with that string section that just emerges.
Almost like you're about to watch an old movie.
Pretty much. Like, I just see like somebody in a top down in a convertible just driving off in the sunset.
Well, did you see the video?
No, I didn't.
There's a lot of stuff like that.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, the video is almost shot as if it's like an old movie.
That's what that feels like. And then it has that modern day hip hop beat that kind of emerges within the instrumentation. And that's what kind of
808s and whatnot.
Yes, absolutely. And it just kind of emerges and it draws you in. And I hear a lot of Stevie Nicks in her low voice, at least. And then once the chorus kind of kicks in, you kind of hear more of that versatility. But she doesn't really pull a whole lot out from her arsenal for this song.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, you get something solid, but like you still don't know what's coming next, because even the next song is like drastically different.
No kidding.
Speaking of the next song is Off to the Races, and this is one of my favorites.
Off to the Races was interesting to hear at first, because she's kind of singing in this rhythm that, and at first listen, you're not sure what approach she's taking to this singing style.
Right.
And she'll kind of take this rhythm into its own. So yeah, she's singing on an off rhythm, what it sounds like, and then once the beat kind of comes in, you start understanding where she's going with that some more. But then what really draws you in is the chorus.
Yes,
the repetition of that melody is just fantastic. I enjoy it, and I think that this song became the best song on this record. But so far, that was my thought. So we'll get further into it and kind of decide whether or not that's the case.
Okay. So next is Blue Jeans, and this one's it slows everything down. This is kind of like her third style in a sense, because you've got the mostly lower singing first style off of Born to Die.
Right.
She sings at a higher register in the chorus for Off to the Races, which, I mean, songs like Lolita and Queen of Disaster, which is not on this album, that was actually cut content.
Right.
Those are some of my favorite songs where she like sings a little bit higher. But with Blue Jeans, it takes some getting used to. I didn't like this one for the first few times I listened to it, but it definitely grew on me. Yeah,
Blue Jeans is pretty great. She kind of channels the Gwen Stefani in this chorus. You can kind of hear it. I'm sure her fans will all disagree with me, but from the first listen,
actually, you know what? I know exactly where you're talking about it on that. It's when she says tears in the chorus.
Or she has that slight vibrato in general during the chorus. You can kind of hear that.
Yeah, I can totally see it.
Yeah. But Blue Jeans is one of those. Oh, it's that second line of the chorus. Yeah, it's that part where you can kind of hear the Gwen Stefani. And I mean, I guess it'll be general to compare top female singers. So sorry about that to anybody.
Hey, dude, I like both of them. I'm a big Gwen Stefani fan, so that's fine. No kidding. Gwen Stefani's great, and a lot of people love No Doubt, and No Doubt's pretty great. So yeah, my thoughts on Blue Jeans is just it's a very good transitional song that keeps the album going, but it is very slow. So it might take a few listens for you to really understand the best way to appreciate this. Yeah, because this one, it isn't as slow as track 4, but this one kind of prepares you for how slow track 4 goes. So that when you're listening to this thing start to finish, you don't just immediately go from Off to the Races, which is one of the overall faster songs on the album, to just how slow Video Games gets. Video Games almost like pulls everything to a stop sometimes, and you're just kind of like, where are we going with this? But it's like, that's also what makes it good. And that's another thing, part of the first listen, I'm listening to this, like, I'm starting to appreciate it by the time I get to Video Games. And Video Games is fantastic. And I didn't quite get it at first. Like, first of all, as a couple of gamers we are, I was very interested as to why she has a song called Video Games. Right. And I looked into kind of what the song means. It's kind of like everybody that's a gamer's girlfriend wants to write this song, because it's about being ignored while the guy plays video games. Yeah. And while the guy plays video games, I should say. And while they're being ignored, they're kind of, or at least in Lana's case for this song, she's very happy to be there. That's why the chorus where she's like, heaven is a place on earth with you. She talks about how she put aside her whole life at that time and writing her music. She just wanted to be there with him, even though all he really did was drank beer and played video games while she watched him, and she was infatuated with him. And right,
very good message. Kind of makes me feel like shit now. Like the imagery is just like absolutely astounding. Like and that's something that she does well, particularly on her next album, Ultraviolence. It's like almost every song is like slow songs like Video Games, or a little bit faster every now and then. But for the most part, it doesn't speed up to like what it is in Lolita or Off to the Races or National Anthem or anything like that. They kind of stay at about the same overall style as this in Blue Jeans, and like. But yeah, it's like I just want to say Video Games found a way to be one of my favorites on this record. I don't know why. It kind of hearing stuff like this really helps me as a songwriter kind of see different sides of how I can compose a pop song.
Oh yeah, and
And
this was the first song that she was known for. She self-released the original video, and I think she might have self-produced the original version of the song.
cool. Yeah,
And
it was described as a Baroque pop song.
right,
Baroque, like Baroque period.
and with this, she got a lot of shit performing this on Saturday Night Live because I don't think that people were ready for just how slow this song is, and so she got kind of shat on, and now she's like, now she gets the last laugh because I mean she stayed popular even after that, and normally that does not happen.
I know, man. I'm really happy that somebody was able to do that because I kind of take a lot of pride in somebody trying to break music and break the mainstream on live TV. Respect.
Absolutely. The next song is Diet Mountain Dew, which is this is a fun song. I like it. It's definitely got that New York feel to it.
Yes, absolutely. Diet Mountain Dew picks back up energy wise. And the big tagline in the beginning is "You're not good for me," and I kind of thought, well, Diet Mountain Dew has aspartame in it. That's not good for you.
Exactly. And yeah, so it's you're no good for me, but I love you, and like that's kind of that thing where it's like even you could say that about regular Mountain Dew, like
yeah, no kidding. I mean, I don't drink that anymore, but I do love the taste for sure. But outside of the drink, the song has that modern feel to it.
Yeah.
Tremolo style bass muting. Din, 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 kind of creates a bounce.
Yeah.
And it's a much more energetic song. So if you're very impressed with how she's done this album so far, then Diet Mountain Dew will impress you.
And one thing is that like back when I was a subscriber for a long time of Spin magazine, and like shortly after I got into her, they released their issue with her on the cover, and they had like a big article about her. And I thought it was really interesting how they described her, and I think it was mostly based off just this song, Diet Mountain Dew, where they described her as a gangster Nancy Sinatra.
Oh wow.
And I can totally see it based off Diet Mountain Dew.
Gangsta Nancy Sinatra. Yeah, she's got that hip hop influence for sure. I mean, that's part of being a modern pop artist. And you hear a little bit of that in National Anthem as well.
Yes, which also had A$AP Rocky in the video. And A$AP Rocky went on to be on 2 songs on the album that she just released like 2 weeks ago.
Sweet deal. So
have you seen the video for this yet, by the way?
I haven't watched any videos.
In this one, she's basically being Jackie O, and A$AP Rocky's JFK.
Wow. That's something. I need to check
it's
that
a really
out.
impressive looking video.
National Anthem is probably the catchiest song on this record.
I'm going to go ahead and say, not counting Paradise and not counting the bonus tracks, this is probably the best song on the album.
Yes, it caught my attention 100%. Just the way it moves. The chorus is huge, like really big mix, like, and it has that "Money's the Anthem." God, you're so handsome. It's got just that. It's super catchy.
Like, I mean, those are kind of the lines that you want to hear from her, which is like whenever you go into her 4th album, Honeymoon. It's like full of stuff like this, like that. The whole album pretty much like feels like National Anthem, and it's
Sweet.
It's so satisfying.
I dig it.
1, 2, 3, 4 producers.
Oh shit, man! Just having all those producers, I just can't imagine. Like, I'm guessing it's 4 to 5 different people who have their hands on
different aspects
of the songs and coaching, and one does one song and one does another. Like, I can't really imagine 4 people producing one record. I feel like that's a too many cooks in a kitchen kind of situation.
Well, what probably happens is they'll like do one version of the song, hand it off to another producer to like get their spin on like what's already there, then hand it off to another, then hand it off to another, etc. And this song actually had 3 writers too.
Yeah, for sure.
Including the Nexus, which is interesting.
But yeah, National Anthem, it becomes it takes the crown from what did I say? Off to the Races.
Yes,
Off to the Races. National Anthem takes the best albums or best songs so far award at this time. Let's move to Dark Paradise, unless you've got some more notes for.
That's fine. Dark Paradise, I like it a little bit more every time I hear it, but it's not one of those songs where I go out of my way to listen to it.
Yeah, it's good. It has that single feeling to it.
Was it a single?
I mean, I think so. I think you
was,
mentioned it was.
Yeah, it was the last single on the album before the EP work.
Okay. Yeah, it has that because she's singing at her higher range, and I figured the higher range part of her is much more marketable than the rest, I guess.
Yeah, like this is a more marketable song. It's in the same tone as like Off to the Races and Born to Die and National Anthem. Without
and
getting
it's not as unique as the rest of the album, but it's
correct.
The chorus is still pretty large.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't really have anything else to say on this one personally. It's like I said, every time that I listen to it, I like it a little more, but like I never want to start listening to it.
Right. I like it just fine. I'll let it play if I listen to the album again, which I plan to many a time.
Well, next song is Radio. And it's pretty much the same thing as Dark Paradise. Every time I listen to it, I like it more, but I don't like go out of my way.
Radio has like a softer vibe. It doesn't really feel like Dark Paradise. Dark Paradise is that top 40 feel, and Radio is kind of that off song where it's just one of the next songs. And I don't really feel much for this one, although the chorus is pretty good. And this is the one where he's like, "You can take your vitamins" or something like that.
Take me like a vitamin, and I don't know what
take me like a vitamin. Well, that's how the British people say it. That's how British people say it.
But she isn't British.
I just repeated that twice. I just realized that. I guess that's all part of having an awkward stutter.
Yeah, dude, it's all good, man.
Damn right it is.
Faux hawk.
Yes. Faux hawk.
Yeah, with Radio, I mean, it's just kind of. It's just a placeholder until the next song comes up, because the next song is incredible.
Carmen.
Yes, this is probably my favorite song on the album.
Carmen has that really like it's something about that violin and that low pitch just makes something sound super ominous.
This song paints such a vivid story that it's like, oh man, you can like see it playing out in your head.
Yeah, from listening to this one, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. It's got the
concepts, right?
It's got it's a handful of listens, so
let me put it this way: the song is kind of about a 17-year-old prostitute who, basically the whole party lifestyle gets her into that.
Yeah, like she stumbled into that profession almost.
Right, and knowing, like, if you look into, God, I always want to call her by her actual name, like I do in layman's with other fans. But
right,
if you if you look at her backstory, like this is almost what she became, kind of.
So it's kind of like the story, telling a story about a fictional character based on her.
Yeah, because she was an alcoholic at a young age, and so like had she kept that whole thing up, this might have been, what might have happened.
That's kind of weird to think about.
Yeah, because I mean, this girl, she's a partier, but like there are several lyrics where you're just going like, oh, like she's obviously a prostitute.
God. That's crazy to me.
I mean, in fact, at one point they just come on out and say it. It's only 17, but she walks the streets so mean, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Oh, dang.
This song paints a very vivid picture.
Yeah, I'll have to listen to it a few more times to kind of get the lyrical content down. That's kind of how I was, talking. It's like, first listen or 2 or 3. You're not going to be listening for lyrics right away.
The next song is $1 Million Man, and this is a fun song. I mean, there's nothing. It's one of those ones that I don't go out of my way to listen to, but it's there's nothing bad. There's nothing wrong with it.
I think that this is probably the weakest song on this record, and it has that like 40s 50s movement to it.
I will
Where it's
say
like
that yes. Yeah, because every time that I think of the album, I'm always like I instantly think the deluxe edition, and there's one weaker song than this in the bonus tracks. But if you're just taking into account the main thing, yeah, I'm gonna have to agree this is the weakest song on the album.
Okay.
Next up is "Summertime Sadness."
Summertime Sadness was the single, right?
Yes, and the
Okay.
big version of it was the remix by This was a decent hit, but the big version of it was the remix by Cedric Gervais, which got like heavy club play.
Yes, I heard the remix. That's the only song I knew by Lana Del Rey. I knew that like a lot of my friends were talking about her, and they would be like, "Oh, Lana Del Rey's cool," but I've never heard anything by her. And "Summertime Sadness's" remix was the big hit in 2012, 2013. I actually think I used to hear it a lot when I worked at Raising Cane's in the kitchen. They'd play a lot of hits,
Right.
and I didn't care that much for the. I just didn't care that much for the remix, but the album version is awesome. It's great.
Oh yeah, it's absolutely like top of the game. Like it's definitely up there. Like it's a top 3.
Yes, for sure.
Actually, as far as like the top 3 best goes, it's probably Off to the Races, National Anthem, and Summertime Sadness in no particular order.
No particular order. I guess you're just giving us your 3 right now, huh?
Oh no, not necessarily.
Yeah. Okay.
I was saying like out of like the best.
Yeah. But yeah, Summertime Sadness has that, once again, that top 40 feel where it just kind of picks up with the big chorus and the hip hop beat again. And that's just kind of the style of what she does in this record, at least. I haven't really gotten into anything later yet, so I'm not too sure of it.
Well, the song charted in Europe, and it reached top 10 in Austria, Bulgaria, Germany, Greece, Luxembourg, Switzerland, and it reached number 1 in Poland, the Ukraine, and Armenia.
Then she freaking killed it. I have nothing but respect for that sort of thing.
Absolutely. Also, there were only 2 writers on this one.
One of them being her?
Yes, she wrote on all of them.
Okay.
But there were additional writers on several.
Yeah, that's what happens when you pump money.
Jeans, National Anthem, and the next song, This Is What Makes Us Girls.
This Is What Makes Us Girls is pretty good.
It's not a good closing track. Like Summertime Sadness would have been good. Actually, $1 Million Man would have been the best closing track for this particular album.
Well, that's the thing is, for me, knowing that the closing track, it didn't feel like the best closing track, but you know the artist obviously did, so I'm gonna respect that. And This What Makes Us Girls is just kind of another song, so I guess you're right. Putting a different song there would have been a little bit better. So it's really tough to pick a weak song though out of all these.
Well, here's the thing: if you had switched $1 Million Man with This Is What Makes Us Girls in the actual like track listing, it would have completed the flow into making this a 10 out of 10 versus whatever else. Because $1 Million Man is a much better closing track because it just kind of like it eases you into the stop rather than doing This Is What Makes Us Girls where you feel like, oh yeah, there's still got to be something else coming, and then it's just like over.
Yeah, I thought the way the track carried itself was pretty good, but it's just kind of over, and that's the end of the record. But maybe that was with the Paradise edition coming out in mind.
Well, when you take into account the deluxe version, you have the songs Without You, Lolita, and Lucky Ones. And Lucky Ones was a much better ending track than This Is What Makes Us Girls.
Yeah, then maybe that's what she had intended to make it a huge record, but that's kind of a big risk to take when you're making your major label debut.
Right.
So yeah, maybe.
Absolutely.
Maybe it was kind of like a leave you hanging on a cliff kind of thing, and we're going to come back with something else. And that's what the Paradise edition was, how she wanted to release it.
Absolutely, and I would actually like to, at some point in the future, kind of revisit this with the full Paradise edition.
Okay,
just kind of do like a mini episode to get your take on like the full package.
Sounds good to me. So, since I was assigned this record, I'm going to do my favorite, best, worst.
Okay.
Shoot, man, my favorite song from this record is going to be National Anthem.
Okay.
Best song on this record is, I'm gonna say "Summertime Sadness." It's hard to beat how large that is. I'm gonna say that the weakest song will either be I'm gonna go with "This Is What Makes Us Girls" as the weakest song.
Wow, even over $1 Million Man.
$1 Million Man's fine.
Okay.
Video games, like for me, usually the way I usually go about being a listener for someone who's a fan of higher energy music, like the old me who just listened to this album once would have probably picked the Video Games as the worst song, but it's really hard to pick it. It's fantastic.
That one's a sleeper. Like then when I say sleeper, I don't mean like it puts you to sleep. I mean that one like comes out of nowhere and you're just like, oh my god, how did I miss this? You know?
No kidding, and I agree with that 100%.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say Video Games may be the best song on the album.
Fair enough, man. I'm not going to critique that. So, what's your favorite, best, worst?
Okay, my favorite is Carmen.
Cool.
I'm gonna go against what I just said, just off of just out of like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm gonna have to give it another listen to determine whether I really think Video Games is the best. But for now, I'm gonna say National Anthem is the best.
Cool.
And then $1 Million Man's the weakest. Yeah. Now, taking into account for the esteemed listener that may have listened to the entire whole product, I'm going to go ahead and say over Carmen, Lolita is my favorite.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a really good overall album. And if I have to rate it, I'm going to go ahead and give it a solid 7.8 as my pick. I'm gonna give it an 8. What's that sound? Is that on my end or your end?
I'm not sure, but I was also just scrolling next to the mic. But
shoot.
Anyway, so
go ahead and re-rate it because I was talking over you. Sorry, I did it again.
It's all good, man. I'm gonna give this an 8.5. But if you were to switch around $1 Million Man and This Is What Makes Us Girls, I would give this an easy like 9.8.
Yep, for better pacing.
But yeah, I mean that's the Fray and Born to Die. What are you wanting to suggest for next week?
I'm going to suggest for you Catfish and the Bottlemans, The Ride, another Brit band that I've been listening to a lot of lately. So I hope you enjoy it.
I mean, I do know who they are, but I've never heard anything by them, and I know they're on tour with Green Day, so should be an interesting listen. I'm going to suggest for you X and Y by Coldplay.
X and Y? Wow, that's because you know what? I have not listened to that album, and I know it's like everybody's influence, so I'm glad to be a part of it.
I literally just listened to the full thing today at work, and I think you're going to like it.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for checking us out again for our second episode.
Faux hawk.
And as Kermit the Frog would say, good night.
I'm a dirty South swamp guy. I'm a dirty South swamp guy. I'm a verb slurring word of mouth, nerdy style Don King, dirty South swamp guy. I'm a dirty South swamp guy. Forget whatever you heard. I was saying blue earns. I'm a client and the president who's serving more than 2 terms. I'm flyer than a bluebird. I'm sicker than a blue germ. On my Reed Richards laying down a foundation for the future. I pave a new lane when I'm playing this game, never making any U-turns, and I never made a left. Go ahead and take an educated guess, then tell me what did you learn. I never take a rest, never give it any less, till I'm sitting down in between 2 ferns. Remember the name, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Henry James. Watch how the screw turns. I'm Mr. Tolstoy, Lord Grant, the Sinatra, less Rolls Royce, Phantom, more Phantom, other opera, add a little bit of Dr. Fate until the potluck and the not equipped for handling the hot stuff. Oh yes, probably ought to call me Wally West. I bought a rocket when you're caught up in a bottleneck, and if I'm not the best, I'll make a target out of all your favorite artists because all of them are not as fresh. I got the green light, move or get stuck. Seem like it's way too soon to give up. That'd be like Scrooge McDuck saying his money bin is too huge, dude. It's a good enough. Something wonderful about the way I'm running my mouth and how I shut it down when I get up in front of a crowd. If you're tempted to think I'm heaven sent from up in the cloud, remember that I come from the South and I am a dirty South swamp guy. I'm a dirty South swamp guy. I'm a verb slurring word of mouth, nerdy style Don King, dirty South swamp guy. I'm a dirty South swamp guy. I'm a dirty South swamp guy. I'm a dirty South swamp guy. I'm the nerd that you heard about, Kirby Crown Comics King, dirty South the N-word. Call me Edward Nigma while I put together puzzle pieces of the bigger picture. Every single syllable delivered as if it was scripture. And I'm gripping the clip with an itchy chrono trigger finger. Raw. Spit fire, coal burning trash talk. Raw. Devil rhyme sort, old dirty bad rock. One half Sasquatch, other half axe cop. I draft all my raps backwards in caps lock. I got clear eyes and a full heart, and I came here riding on a bull shark. When all of y'all got called on a false start, I'm Bruce Wayne batting out of this ballpark. Let's begin fresh, I'ma shed my skin. My persona similar to shit, negative. Fusing my inner demons together and assembling a minute something better than I've ever been. 32 years young, gifted and black, spitting and tongue twisting his raps, and every bit of his fact on the attack when I'm killing the track. Taking what I'm giving and then giving it back. This is the story of my origin, a sort of ordinary, normal, boring kid who wasn't concerned about prom king till I turned my 10 as an honorary member of the West Coast Avengers to a goddamn mother effing dirty South Swamp Gang. I'm a dirty South Swamp Gang. I'm a verb slurring, word of mouth, nerdy style, Don King. Dirty South Swamp Gang. I'm a dirty South Swamp Gang. I'm a dirty South Swamp Gang. I'm a dirty South Swamp Gang. I'm the nerd that you heard about, Kirby Crown Comics King. Dirty South Swamp Gang. I'm a dirty South Swamp Gang.
Thank you for listening to The Record Club. The song that you heard for the intro and outro was Dirty South Swamp Thing by Tribe One, and you can find him on Facebook and at tribe1.bandcamp.com.